Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with a quick starter, shall we? Can you find for me 1/4 of 144? Can you then find 25% of 144? Can you solve the equation 2x take away 4 equals 12? And can you convert 2 over 25 to a decimal and a percentage for me? Pause the video and have a go at those questions in your light blue books now. Okay, let's go through the answers. So to find 1/4 of 144, I need to divide 144 by 4. I'm going to do a quick sum. 4s into 1 goes 0, remainder 1. 4s into 14 goes 3, remainder 2. And 4s into 24 gives me 6, so 36. To find 25% of 144, I know that 100% of 144 is 144. So what do I need to do, Brooke, to find out 25%? Exactly, I just need to divide it by 4, which is actually what we already did with our first question. So 25% will be 36. I'm solving an equation, so I want to find out what x is. I need to get rid of this negative 4 to start with, and to do that I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Adding 4 to both sides leaves me with 2x equals 16, sorry. I then need to divide both sides by 2, which leaves me with x equals what, George? 8, brilliant. And finally, to convert 2 over 25 to a decimal and a percentage, well, the first thing I want to do is convert it to a fraction out of 100. So Daisy May, what do I need to multiply 25 by to get 100? 4 exactly. Whatever I do to the bottom, I need to do the same to the top, which gives me 8 out of 100, which as a decimal is 800ths or 0.08. And to convert that to a percentage, I just need to multiply by 100, which gives me what, Trenton? 8%. Lovely. Let's head into today's lesson. So a quick recap to start us off. We used the bar model to work out various percentages of a number. For example, if this bar represents 100% of 400, the bar itself is worth 400. To work out what 50% would be, we need to split that bar into 2. And that tells me that 50% of 400 is 200, and I've got 2 lots of 200 within my 400. To work out what 25% is, I need to split that bar into 2. So I've got 4 lots of 25% in 100%, and 25% will each be worth 100. To work out 10% of 400, we divided 400 by 10. So 10% would be worth 40. To work out 5%, we're going to divide that section into 2 again. So 5% will be worth 20. Dividing 40 by 2 gives me 20. And to work out 1%, we needed to divide each of those sections into 5. I've split them up into these tiny little sections, and I've said that each one of those little 100 sections within 400 is going to be worth 4. 400 divided by 100 gives me 4. 1% of 400 is 4. We're now going to combine up these percentages to work out some different percentages. I'm going to do some examples and then you're going to do some. So to start off with, I want to find 2% of 400. Well, I know what 1% is. It's one of these little bars. So I can find 2% by using 2 of those little bars. If each of those little bars is worth 4, how much is 2 of them going to be worth for me, Barbara? 8, exactly. 4 plus 4 is 8. How about if I wanted to find 12%? Well, this time I could take a 10% and 2 little 1%. The 10% was worth 40. Each of the little 1% is worth 4. So I've got 40 plus 4 plus 4, which would give me 48. Let's make 62%. I could start off with a 50%, then add on another 10%, that would give me 60%, then add on 2 little ones, and adding that together I've got 240, 4 plus 4 is 8, 248. Let's do a challenging one. I need to find 112% of 400. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bar, which represents 100%, which is 400, and have one of those. So there's my 100%, which was 400. I then want to add on an extra 12%, and to do that I'm going to grab a 10% and 2 little 1%. So altogether I've got 440, 4 plus 4 is 8. So 112% of 400 would be 448. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, using the bar model to help, can you find 8% of 400, 28% of 400, 88% of 400 and 128% of 400? Use the bar model to help, see which ones you need to combine up to give you these percentages. Pause the video and have a go at that in your light blue books now please. This should take about 5 to 10 minutes. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. 32 could be made by 4 lots, 8 lots of 4, 8 lots of 1%, 8 times 4 is 32. 28% could be made from 2 lots of 10% plus the 8%, or you could have picked the 25% and added on another 3. To make 88% you needed a 50% plus 3 lots of the 10% plus a 5% plus 3 lots of the 1%, which would give you a 352. And 128% of 400 would give you 512. Is there another way of working this out? If I was asked to find 95% of 400, I could take my 50%, add on 4 lots of my 10%, and a 5%, and that would give me 240, 80, 320, 360, 380. But there's another way I could have done it. Let's find out. Alternatively, I could have taken my 100%, which was 400, and subtracted one of my 5%. This would give me 400, take away 20, which would also give me 380. And you might argue that was a little bit quicker. Okay, Year 7, in your dark blue books, can you give me the title percentage of amounts, or just carry on underneath our notes from last lesson? I'm going to go through some examples and then you're going to do some examples. So to start off, I'm going to find 5% of 60. To find 10%, I need to do 60 divided by 10, which would give me 6. As 100% of 60 is just 60. To find 5%, I divide my 6 by 2, which would give me 3. So my answer is 3. If I want to find 105% of 60, 100% of 60 is just 60. We know that 5% was 3. So 105% can be found by adding up those two percentages, which would give me 63. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, please have a go at these two questions. Pause the video for 5 minutes or so and work those out now. Let's go through some answers. So So 100% of 20 is just 20. 10% can be found by dividing by 10, which gives me 2. And 5% can be found by dividing that by 2, which gives me 1. So 5% of 20 should have been 1. To find 95% of 20, I'm going to take my 100% and subtract my 5%. My 100% was 20. My 5% was just 1. So 95% is 19. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, please pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions for me. There's some extension questions available for those of you that are confident, but start on the questions on the left-hand side. This should take about 10 to 15 minutes. Off you go. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, continuing in our dark blue books, I'm going to go through a couple of examples and then you're going to do some examples. To find 5% of 60, we just said that 10% was 6, and 5% we divided that 10% by 2, which gave us 3. So to find 102% of 120, I know that 100% of 120 is 120. And this time I'm going to work out what 1% would be. To work out what 1% would be, I need to divide by 100, because there's 100 lots of 1% in 100. If I divide both sides by 100, I get 1.2. To work out what 2% would be, I then multiply that by 2, which would give me 2.4. I then need to combine up my 100 and 2% to give me 122.4. Over to you, Year 7, in your dark blue books. Please can you now have a go at these two questions for me. Pause the video and work those out now, please. Right, let's go through the answers. So to find 1%, I know that 100% of 20 is 20. To find 1%, I'd want to divide that by 100, which would give me 0.2. To find 2%, I'd multiply that by 2, which is 0.4. I wanted to find 202% of 120. Well, 100% is 120. We know that 1% is 1.2. We know that 2% is 2.4. So to find 202%, we need to add together 100% plus another 100% plus 2%, which would give me 242.4. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, please pause the video for 10 minutes and have a go at these 10 questions for me. Pause the video and complete those now, please. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. One more set of questions to go into your dark blue books. I'll go through some examples and then you're going to do some. So pens down, eyes on me to start with. To work out 5% of 60, well, we know that 10%, we just divide it by 10, which would give us 6. And to work out 5%, we just divided that by 2, which gave us 3. How can I work out what 2.5% might be, Elliot? Great, I've got 5% is 3. So to work out 2.5%, I just want to divide that by 2. So 2.5% would give me 1.5. How could I work out what 0.5% would be? That's a bit trickier. Poppy, help me out. How could I work out 0.5%? Right, well, we know that 2.5% was 1.5. If I divide that by 5, I know that 0.5% is going to be 0.3. Over to you, Year 7. In your dark blue books, please pause the video for a couple of minutes and have a go at these questions for me. Off you go. Right, let's go through some answers. 10% of 120 would be 12. So 5% we divide it by 2 will be 6. If we know that 5% is 6, we can divide that by 2 to give me 2.5%, which will give me 3. How about 97.5%? Charlie, how can I make 97.5%? You're right, I could do 100% and subtract my 2.5%. to give me 97.5%. We know that 100% is 120. We know that 5%, 2.5% is 3. So 97.5% would give me 117. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, starting at question A, they're going to get increasingly trickier. Have a go at these questions for me. Pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and work those out now. And here are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work for me. And that's the end of today's lesson. Can you now head over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket for me? Thanks very much for listening and have a splendid day. Goodbye.